Managing your own investment property? Here's how that usually goes. You're either an investor or looking to rent your current home, but managing property yourself rarely goes to plan. First, you'll need a tenant, but to find one, you'll need to market your property. So now you're a marketing specialist. The easy part is over. Now you'll need to prepare a tenancy agreement, run background checks, credit checks, check previous rental history, making you a leasing agent. The tenant has moved in. Congratulations! Now you're a landlord. Time to complete a condition report, arrange inspections. You'll also have to be the debt collector. Of course, you're also the repairman. When the toilet breaks late at night, you'll be the one heading over to see what needs to be done. Now it looks like the tenants you've found weren't as credible as you thought, so you'd better get to work on that eviction notice. When the angry tenant finally leaves, you become the cleaner and the repairman, who needs to get the place back to good condition, also that you can start the process again as a tenant finder. We are the professionals. With over 40 years experience in managing properties from Doncaster to the Yarra Valley, we provide a personalised process, focus on minimising risk and maximising return on your investment. We market your property using the latest technology, reducing vacancy time and attracting the right tenants. We provide detailed reporting on the property and provide the opportunity to inspect your investment with your dedicated property manager.
Well, the name says it straight away. The reason I would recommend Methven Professionals because they are professional. The service to me is unsurpassed to any other real estate I deal with.
Listed with us, you'll have 24-hour online access to all relevant information, including tenancy details, payments made, rent collected, downloadable statements, end-of-year financial statements and more. Your tenants will also benefit from online access, making it simpler to report maintenance, look at payment history and contact their property manager. But we don't just lease to anyone. All tenants go through a stringent qualifying process. Firstly, we obtain proof of identification and income. Then we carry out online credit checks, as well as full reference checks, including employment and past rental history. We arrange maintenance, have zero tolerance for rent arrears as we allow multiple options of payments for tenants and respond promptly to all communication. All this means security and peace of mind for you.
Communication, that's their biggest thing. They communicate. They don't leave you in the dark. They will contact you, making sure that each person within the dealings is happy with the situation.
We take care of it all. Our processes ensure good relationships with tenants, up-to-date records, speedy vacate procedures and bond return. With a focus on client care, honesty and integrity, everything is taken care of.
I can ring anytime I like and there's always someone there that can tell me the answer of what I want to know. I've already been recommending professionals to people that want to sell or got a house to rent. They know what they're talking about and they talk in a language that I can understand.
Here at Professionals, you benefit from the knowledge of our highly trained and experienced team. Our ongoing mission to be better and more efficient ensures we are up to date with the latest systems and procedures, guaranteeing the smooth management of your property. We manage it all, from studios to units, houses to farmlets, commercial to industrial, and in every case we eliminate costly mistakes and ensure efficient compliance with acts and regulations. Contact our friendly professional team today to minimise your risk and maximise the return on your investment.
Good evening. Thanks, Russell. Some great information there for anyone wanting to get into the commercial department. My name's Tracey. I'm the department manager at the Mooroolbark office and I lead the residential rentals. Well, residential rentals has certainly been a tough couple of years for not just landlords. You're actually called residential rental providers now because someone had obviously got bored through COVID and thought they'd sit down and rename landlords to residential rental providers and tenants to renters. I've been calling landlords and tenants for the past 25 years or 27 years. So you still might see me refer to renters and landlords as I've known them to be over the last few years. But you know, it's been a tough time. So I think what it did show through COVID is the need of people needing to rent. So even during COVID, when we had the lockdowns, we couldn't actually show people homes, but we were still letting homes. People were accepting properties sight unseen. During that first lockdown, over a July and August period, at the Mooroolbark office alone, we let 18 properties. So it just goes to show the lack of properties that are out there. And I think with the reforms that came in last year, along with what people were achieving in the selling market, a lot of owners chose to sell. So what that created was a shortage in rentals. So it comes back to supply and demand. So what that has done is actually pushed up rental prices, which is making it very hard for renters because they are now paying, you know, for your average 3-bedroom home, $450 per week. That's 1 bathroom and no garage. And we'll go through a couple of properties that we have recently let. We are getting inundated with applications because there's just lack of supply out there. And we'll go through some of those stats and you'll see what's happened over the last couple of years. So vacancy rates. These, Melbourne and the outer are actually reported by, sourced through the Real Estate Institute of Victoria. So you can see there in July 2021, it was 5.8%. As of July this year, it was 3.8%. For the outer, which is 20 k's from the city, but excluding Mornington Peninsula, the average is 1.5% now, but this time last year was 2.1%. Us as a company, this time last year, we were at 0.08%. We're currently sitting at 0.04%. So it just goes to show the lack of properties that are out there at the moment for the amount of people that are looking. So the median rents, as sourced again by the REIV, your current 3-bedroom home for Melbourne Metro is $475. Last year it was $450. For outer, it's $430. And last year it was $400. For 2-bedroom units, the average for the Metro is $450 and the outer $395. And it was $410 and $375 last year. So you can see rents have increased. What we're finding out this way is our actual median prices are actually higher than what the REIV have reported. So for Mooroolbark, we're actually finding your average 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home is letting at $450, Lilydale $460, Mount Evelyn $450 and Croydon $465. So they are your basic 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom homes. Neat homes, they're not necessarily got your 2 living areas, garages, but they might have the comforts of gas ducted heating, but not necessarily air conditioning right the way through. So there's your yields, that's your gross yields on your median house prices at the moment. If you brought a 3-bedroom home at $823, rented it at $430, your gross yield is about 2.7%. You can see from our local suburbs, they are all very similar. In your little takeaway packs today, if you are looking to get into residential rentals, you will find a form in there that you'll be able to put the costs in there or the expenses to be able to work out some sort of return for you. Renting a home isn't income producing straight away. It's the long term. You've got to be in residential rentals for the long term. So it's the capital growth that actually makes it worthwhile holding on to a rental property, because there are a lot of costs now involved with having a residential rental property, and some of the reforms that came in last year, owners are having to spend more money on compliance with gas, electrical, your smoke alarm servicing, and there's huge fines, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit further on. So here's just a couple of samples of some properties that we've let recently in the last month. So 47 Blackburn Road, on a full block, 3-bed, 1-bath, very neat. Bathroom had been updated, but the kitchen was hadn't been updated, but it was neat. We got $470 per week for that. It did have a really lovely undercover area. 130 Caranvale Road, that had a bit of a facelift. That was just a 3-bed, 1-bath, and that let at $465. And 22 Sweetland Road, again, neat home, 3-bed, 1-bath, $470. Like 2 years ago, they probably would have leased it around the $420 mark. 2-bedroom properties are also getting good returns. So 4 Shield Court, that's a 2-bed, 1-bath, probably about 5-6 years old, so it's quite modern. Small courtyard, single garage, $460 per week. 3 at 28 Hawthorne Road, that was a brand new townhouse. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath and on Hawthorne Road, and that let at $450. And then 3 at 8 Devonish, neat unit, 2-bed, 1-bath, rented at $420. You know, we would never have seen those prices a few years ago. So it just goes to show supply and demand. Lots of demand, low stock, pushes the prices up and just makes it harder for renters to get into the rental market. That's the form I was referring to before that you've got in your pack, where you can just go through, fill out all the information on your expenses and what sort of expenses to expect from having a rental property. In the last 6 months, we've had 2,540 prospective tenants go through our open homes. So that just goes to show how many people are out there at the moment looking for properties. We've let 101 properties within our Methven group in the month of June and July. And the reforms are now in. So I don't know if we've got any landlords in the room at the moment, but you do have to do your gas, electrical and smoke alarm compliance. You can't go in now with smoke alarms, press a button and make sure the alarm sounds. It has to be done by a service provider or an electrician if they're hardwired. You have until March next year to do these checks. Unless your property has changed tenants in the last 12 months, you should have already done them. If you've got the same tenant in your property as of March last year, you've got until March next year to comply with the compliance. So huge fines. There's up to $10,000 for each compliance that you don't do on your property. So I'd highly recommend that you do it. The cost to actually do them is quite cost effective. So we've engaged local tradespeople to do the actual electrical compliance. It's $250. It's what can come from the compliance that may be costly. So a lot of our newer homes are actually coming back all good, and that's to be done every 2 years. With the gas compliance, it does depend on how many gas appliances you have. So we've $220 for your first gas appliance, and then I think it's an additional $30 for every gas appliance thereafter. So again, older homes, we have seen some works come back from those gas compliance checks. So it can be costly, but what I would be suggesting, if you haven't done them, maybe spread them out over the next 6 months. You know, do your gas one now. Actually do your electrical one now, because if you've got a problem with your gas heater, you don't want to be shutting that off during winter while having the cold winter that we're having at the moment. And then maybe have the electrical one done now, and maybe the gas one in another 6 months, just to spread out your costs. Landlord insurance, I think with the new reforms, especially with pets now, it's very hard to say no to a pet. There are avenues that we can go down. Thanks to the media, they didn't actually highlight what the path was that tenants needed to go down. I think a lot of tenants just felt they could go and get a pet. Well, that wasn't the case. So we do have avenues that we can go through, but they have now included pet damage within landlord insurance. So previously, pet damage wasn't included in a lot of landlord insurances, whereas now they do cover for the pet damage. I think this day and age, you know, with renting, you just want to cover yourself. 95% of our tenants are great. So you only hear of the bad ones. You never hear of the good renters. So, you know, if you are thinking of getting into the market, there's more chance of you having a great experience than a bad experience. But there's no guarantees, and the way to give you a bit of peace of mind is just to make sure you have those insurances in place. So our philosophy is a well-presented property, priced right, attracts good tenants to minimise your risk and maximise your return. I'll be around at the end of this evening if you want to come and see me, ask me any questions. Anyone wanting to come into property management and looking at a career, come and talk to me. Thank you.